because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
NFL Week 9 is here, guys. I'll be breaking down 3 big games like usual. One always being the Monday nighter. Provide my favorite teaser and underdog options of the week. This week we will look at Ravens versus Broncos. A surprising Broncos. Lions versus Packers, biggest game of the week. Have to talk about that one. And the Chiefs versus the Bucks is the Monday nighter this week. Systemsportscapping.com or link.me/systemcapping for client opportunities, resume, records, client comments. We've got some articles, free promo codes for sportsbooks. Go check it out over there. My link.me is the easiest access for everything system capping. Like this video if you're watching on YouTube. Rate if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It is much appreciated. Lots of listeners over in Apple and Spotify. Love some more ratings from you guys. That would be much appreciated, like I said. We have a sponsor this week. It is Bet99 Sportsbook. Promo code use BetMax. BetMax. Deposit $20 or more. If you miss your first bet, you lose your first bet, they will cover it up to $1,500. First bet insurance. That's what it's called. First bet encore. Each book calls it different ways, but use code BetMax. They have some good odds over there. As you can see here on the screen, GSP, George St. Pierre, is an ambassador for them, so a legit sports book. I do use them from time to time. 4-4 last week, no profit last week after that nice run. We were on 14-3. Jets were the main issue for it, right? Wow, we'll have a Jets run here shortly, but what a spot for the Jets. You can't get a much better spot. They just proved their names on a piece of paper are not a team. So we'll see how they do. I do this video on Thursday afternoon, so I don't know how they're going to do in this Houston game. We'll find out next week, and we'll talk about it, I'm sure. Split on props 2-2 last week. We were all over the Atlanta game. Atlanta over the Bucks. That was my favorite play of the week. That hit. We were on the money line and the spread in that game. 18-7 client run right now. Very happy with that. 15-5 in the player prop market this year. That's one of the highlights, and 5-1 in totals as well. We should have a pending total this week for clients. Jets rant. Let's get into the Jets rant. Ruined a week that probably could have been. Well, it would have been perfect because we did lose on a player prop or two, but they ruined another profitable week for us. And, listen to these fun facts. There's a couple things I got to talk here about the Jets. Fun fact, scored 20-plus points, okay? This is like a little fun fact stat. I got it from Orlowski. Scored 20-plus points, didn't turn the ball over, allowed fewer than 250 total yards. In NFL history, teams are 750-1 when generating this box score. The one loss was the Jets. Right? You have to have some luck to win games, too, and they're getting 0 of it. Not saying they're playing good. I think Rodgers has taken a big step back in his career. I think the defense is not as good as we expected, but they're also having a lot of bad luck. Right? A lot of things aren't going right for them. As well. And that stat, just tells you, just an embarrassment, right? To lose that game. You're up in the 4th, cruising to victory, and you just let the Pats come down, 75-yard, 80-yard drive? Just embarrassing. I feel for the Jets fans. Pretty much zero shot they make the playoffs now. They would have to win outright, I'm sure. And I don't believe that will happen. Definitely one of the biggest disappointing teams. You hear people say biggest disappointment ever, right? Greenberg, I know he's a big fan of them. I don't agree with that. Let's be honest here. But they're a very big disappointment. Very big disappointment, the Jets. And, a team I just can't back anymore. It's very difficult to back them week after week, right? And this Thursday game coming up, you guys will hear this on Friday, so you already know what happened. But it's just very difficult to back them in the spot, even though I do believe the spot's good. Houston's banged up. But how do you back them? I lost multiple times this year on the Jets. So I have to stay away from that. Feel for Salah. Obviously, coaching wasn't the issue. This proves it here, right? So feeling bad for Salah there. He got some job like I mentioned he would. I told you guys he would get some sort of consulting job, and he got to a Green Bay. So pretty cool there. Updated power rankings. Let's do an updated power rankings for you guys. Chiefs and Lions stay 1 and 2, right? No surprise there. I think everyone in the world has Chiefs, Lions 1 and 2. I'm sure there's probably even a Lions number 1. Chiefs are 7 and 0, guys. Until someone beats them, they move out of that spot. It's very simple. Now, 3, 4, 5 could be changed either way, right? They all could be different. I believe these 3 teams should be in the top 5, though, right? I got Bills in there at 3. They've been looking very good. I like that they added Cooper. They've been looking very good lately, so I have to have Bills in the top 5 here. We got to get Packers in there as well, guys. They continue to win at 6 and 2, and then the Texans in 5th. They continue to find ways to win, even though they're not playing their best football and they're banged up. Now it may change after losing Diggs. I get it. They may fall out of the top 5, but each week it changes, right? Each week there's going to be a new team in there for the most part. So it's per week, not, future, oh, this team's better. If it was future, I would have Ravens still in there. Okay, I think Ravens win this week. We'll talk about them shortly, and they probably get back in there in the top 5. So, right, other teams that are looking in, Steelers, of course. Steelers playing really good football right now. I think adding Wilson was an upgrade for this team. And the Eagles are playing good as well right now. They really haven't beaten anyone notable, obviously, besides week 1. I don't really count week 1 when they beat the Packers, and it was in Brazil. A lot of things going on, but I think Eagles are a good team. Let me see when they play a good team, though, right? I want to see them when they're starting to get a little bit challenged before I can put them in the top 5. And Washington Commanders, hey, they should have lost last week. That's why I couldn't put them in the top 5, but they're right there as well. So those are teams that are knocking at the door of the top 5, like I say. Let's hear from my friend Kristen before we get into these game breakdowns.
For you sports bettors out there, let's be honest, you probably need a little bit of help beating those books. System capping is a proven long-term winner against the sports betting market in multiple sports. He's built a worldwide clientele due to his high winning percentage over the years. Be sure to click the link on the bio down here to check out his profile, and you can also find out his resume, client comments, podcasts, and subscription opportunities. I'm going to be following him along too, so let's win some money together this season.
Shop around, guys. Shop around, have multiple sportsbook. You get the best lines out there. Can't stress that enough. Let's get right into it, guys. Broncos at Ravens. Ravens -8, total 46.5. The 5-3 Broncos. Yes, I said it. This team, like most people that had them, right? I had this team bottom half of the league. Most people did in their power rankings as well. It's a very surprising to me that they're 5-3. Now we're going to talk about maybe why they're 5-3 here shortly. Main reason so far is the defense. Top 3 in a lot of stats, top 5 in most stats, right? They're 3rd in points allowed, 3rd in yards allowed, 2nd in sacks. There's the big reason why, right? This is one of the best defenses in the NFL, guys. However, on the offense side of the ball, Knicks is playing better than expected. Started really bad. We picked on him early. Right? But now he's playing a lot better. Grew very quickly into the role. And I'm liking what I see from him. Leads all QBs with 12 touchdowns. Leads in successful deep throws, which is a little surprising. Only 1 interception in the last 6 games. He started slow, but he really improved his play quickly. I'm impressed. From what I see from Knicks. Able to run, able to scramble, and he has an arm to throw the ball, down to a few nice weapons down there. Sutton being the main factor. Now, it's worth mentioning Denver's 5 wins. Very important, guys, when you're looking at game stats, when you're looking at matchups, and you're looking to handicap. Who has these teams beat right now? Denver, Carolina last week. New Orleans with Rattler at QB. Vegas. The Jets, the most disappointing team ever, maybe, right? The only notable win was the Bucs. That was a nice win, surprising. Their defense won them that game single-handedly, for the most part. Impressive win there, but now, the Bucs frauds. I'm not going to say that they're a bad team, because now they're probably, if they don't get Chris Godwin and Evans back, they're probably not going to make the playoffs. But they did have both in that game, if I do recall. So that was a nice win, but that's their only nice win on the year. And I wouldn't put Bucs as a top-end team, right? So, yes, Denver does not have a top-end team win here, obviously. If they're able to beat Baltimore, it would be. Ravens are coming off that ugly loss in Cleveland, right? You do expect them to be extra motivated at home to get back on track. I do expect them to win this game. It's a game they lost to Cleveland by beating themselves, right? And that's how you beat the Ravens. I mentioned it before. The only team that beats the Ravens is the Ravens. They were down 2 corners in that game. That played a big factor because a lot of blown coverages in that game, right? Marlon Humphrey, probably one of this year, he's top 5 quarterback. He's actually ranked, I think, first by PFF in a lot of categories. He's out. You got Wiggins, their overall pick. He played a lot this year already. He was out. That did factor in because they're not deep at corner. They had a couple injuries. Tampa was also out for them. He's a rookie corner. So they brought in Jalen Arden-Davis, who I think is really bad, and he came right off IR to start. Not a good recipe there, guys. Not a good recipe. They need to go out and get depth in corner before the trade deadline, right? Tre'Davious White is out there sitting. Bring him in. Veteran corner. Go out and get someone like they did last year with Darby. Right? A nice signing at depth at wide receiver this past week, right? Deontay Johnson. You're improving the best offense, up there with the Lions. With adding a number 2, number 3 right away to this offense at wide receiver. One of the best route runners in the NFL. Great at separation. And he'd be more of a veteran presence maybe for Flowers, right? So I like that. I like what they did bringing him in. I just hope it doesn't ruin any flow or anything. That's what you get a little worried about. But it's not like he's going to be a main attraction, like bringing in a Devontae Adams. Bringing in a Devontae Adams, I thought would be a disaster. He would want the ball, this and that. Deontay Johnson, no. He's not going to cry not getting the ball in this offense. He just wants to win. So, and he obviously wants to play the Steelers. Stick it to the Steelers. They play 2 times. So look for him to have some big games there. But yeah, nice addition here. We got a fun battle. Here. Best offense in the NFL, in my opinion, versus a top 3 defense. You want to watch this. I expect the Ravens D to play better as well this week. At home, they're pissed. They're angry. They haven't been playing good football. Marlon Humphrey should be back. Wiggins will be back. I believe when they have everybody, they're a solid defense. And I do believe it will improve throughout the year. Right? Losing Mike McDonald, the defensive coordinator, has been an issue. It has been an issue for them. And we're seeing it. That's why they brought in an advisor in Dean Pease. Right? We got the youngest defensive coordinator in the NFL. So, unfortunately, it's showing, but also players, dropping easy picks, blown coverages. It's not all on a defensive coordinator. Let's be honest here, guys. Line open up at 9.5. A must bet at 9.5. Broncos plus 9.5. It dropped to 8. I still would play plus 8 with the Broncos due to their defense being very good. But you could see Ravens winning by 10 points as well, right? So, this is not a line I'll be betting. Gun to my head, I would have to play Broncos plus the points. But, I like Ravens more in the teaser market. You can just get them -1, 1.5, 2. 7-point teaser just to win the game. I do like them to win the game. And, I'm leaning the under. If you can get 47s out there, I lean the under due to, obviously, the Broncos defense. Possibly Nick struggling against, a good team. A team that I do think will start playing better defense, and he's on the road in Baltimore. Could struggle a little bit. So I'm going to lean the under in that game as well. Lions minus 2.5 at Packers. Total 48.5. Game of the week. Who is the best in the... We said that last week, right? Yeah. Who's the best in the NFC? Lions versus Packers. This will tell. Lions proved to be the best in the division. Was it the Lions, or am I mixing that up with somebody? I might be mixing up with somebody. This is it here, right? Lions, Packers. It's going to be interesting to see how this one goes. Of course, we have to talk about this matchup. Juiciest matchup of the week. Both QBs were questionable to start the week. Both didn't practice on Wednesday. Goff came back in full practice, I do believe. But Love didn't. He just came back in practice, didn't do much movement around. Watch this Friday report. I'm not too sure if Love might be like a game time call. So it's a key injury there. Packers have another key injury in Jair Alexander. Did not practice all week so far. DNP. Left last week's game. So that's something worth mentioning here, guys. Very important to that secondary. They have been struggling at times, so losing him, you expect Goff to be able to throw all over them, especially if he doesn't play. Jacobs is banged up. He didn't practice, but he was limited on Thursday or Wednesday, I believe. So I expect Jacobs to play, but just watch the Love status. That's going to be very important here. The line will move if Love doesn't play. If you want to take a chance, get into Lions now. I see some threes out there, guys. It was 2.5. I do see some threes out there as well now. Maybe that because the Love news, he's not going to be 100% playing in this game if he does play. Keep that in mind. Lions seem fairly healthy going into this big game. Obviously, they lost Williams due to suspension at wide receiver. They also should get back Zeitler on the O-line, which will help for their depth. The guy they brought in was getting beat a lot. He's a rookie, if I recall. So Zeitler, obviously, former Raven and very durable and trustworthy on that O-line. We got the two high-powered offenses in this one, right? Lions are first in points scored at 33, and the Packers are sixth at 27, right? Obviously, Love doesn't play. Step down here on the offense. But, defensive side, very difficult to run the ball in the Lions. Jacobs might struggle to run the ball, so you expect Love to, get Reed involved, get the tight end involved, Kraft, get a lot of guys involved. You should be able to throw on the Lions. Top 5 in the NFL, and the Packers are 5th in rushing. Right, 5th in rushing. So that's a nice battle to watch in the trenches there. For this game. Same thing, with the Packers run D. They're fairly solid against the run, top 10. We know Lions have one of the best duels in the NFL, so that's going to be a big battle to watch as well. I just expect both teams to throw a lot in this one, right? So you may want to look at player props over on receivers and QBs, right? Lions 27th in passing yards allowed, Packers 19th. Watch for big games from both Love and Goff, maybe going back and forth. And that's why you have to lean the over here as well, right? 48.5, 49. Gonna have to look at the over. Have to look at the over if I have to bet this year. Last 2 games have gone over for these two when they've played. 6-4 Packers last 10 games head to head. I do believe the Lions are the better team here. If Love's not coming to this game 100%, I'm going to have to back the Lions here. I don't love that because it's in Green Bay. I don't really like to bet against Green Bay in Green Bay. Gun in my head, I would play the Lions, though. Due to the Love concern, Jair Alexander, if he's out for this game, I would like Lions even more. But yeah, look at the over there, and I would lean the Lions. Monday Nighter, Bucks at Chiefs. Chiefs minus 8.5, total 45.5. The 7-0 Chiefs, yes. Hate to say it, but they are. They're the best team in the NFL until someone proves otherwise. They get the Bucks at the right time, right? And that's why you said 8.5 spread here. Right? It proves that. We were on Atlanta last week to beat the Bucks. They got it done for us. Favorite play of the week. Fairly easy. They made it close late, the Bucks, but it was all garbage time, right? Atlanta was up by like 17 points in that game late, and the Bucks came back late. Chiefs should move to 8-0, right? There's no... It's very hard to say how the Bucks win this game in Kansas City, and mainly due to the 2 reasons. Your best 2 weapons are out still, and Evans and Godwin. How do you go into Chiefs territory and beat them without your best two weapons. And, obviously we know the Chiefs are a good defense. Better against the run, the Chiefs. You have been able to throw a little bit on them. But I just don't think it's going to matter much when you're missing your two top guys. Right? The Bucs D has been an issue, though. This is the issue. This is why I can't bet Bucs here. And that's why I'm even worried to take the +8.5. Right? Even though it's a lot of points, and I like looking at this, like looking at teams when you get that many points, like I said with the Broncos earlier. But the D has just been terrible, guys. 30th in yards allowed, 20th in rushing, 29th in passing yards allowed, 28 in points allowed. It's just not good numbers that you want to hear, right? And that's what's keeping me off this game totally. I can't bet this game at all because of that. I expect the Chiefs to be able to score at least 20 points here, at least, right? High 20s is what I can see. I wouldn't be surprised if they get into the 30s. And I just don't believe the Bucs can keep up with the lack of weapons in this game, right? So only way you can look at is Chiefs to win the game, maybe Chiefs in a moneyline teaser market, but it's very difficult for me to get to the Bucs, even though the 8.5 is juicy and tempting. Over's tough too, right? Bucs play to the overall year due to their defense and able to score, and then Chiefs play to the under. Right, so you're just flipping a coin here, right? Stay away from this game personally. I talk about every Monday night, or even if I don't have a play, I'll give you a free play though. Bucs are last, one of the worst teams against the tight end. So look at Kelsey. If you can get 60 or under, you're going to want to look at Kelsey here. We targeted the Bucs for clients twice already, 2-0, attacking tight ends versus the Bucs this year. Last week we were on Pitts over. He got the over at halftime. They're just really bad versus tight ends, and Kelsey should be open in this one. Two favorite teaser options this week. Missed out last week due to the Jets. Jets ruined two teasers for me this year. Two teasers, so we'll be staying away from them. But Bengals just to win and Ravens -2 will be my favorite two teasers this week. If you want the full teaser, +120, 7.3 team teaser. Client opportunities are always available at the website. Underdog options. We got the Eagles last week. Nice win there, but we missed on the Cowboys. Nice hit on the Eagles, all right? You bet both, you're profiting. Right, so now I'm trying to give out my favorites to you guys. So if you bet the Eagles, you bet the Cowboys, you profit. Like always, there's many, right? Patriots, Cowboys, Browns, Packers, Seattle. 5 favorite. Let's break them down. I just can't bet the Patriots. I can't do it. Titans at home, almost they need a win. They haven't won for a while now. You could see Titans maybe squeaking this one out. I'm staying away from this one. It's an ugly game, right? You just don't want to be betting two of the worst teams in the NFL. Anything could happen there. Packers with Love issues, Alexander issues, I'm staying away. Of course, sure, the Packers could win at home, but everything has to go and fall into place with Love playing in Alexander, in my opinion. So it's between the Cowboys, Browns, and Seattle. I kind of like all three a little bit. Cowboys will give you the best return in pricing, right? The other two is going to give you +105, +110, so not a big underdog there, but they're both at home, the Browns. Browns get some momentum off that Ravens win, so I can see the Browns winning that game. And Seattle, too, I kind of like at home as well to get back on track after that Bills loss. That's also a look for me as well. So let's do Browns in Seattle. We hit one, you profit, right? So let's look at Browns and Seattle this week. That will do it, guys. That will do it. Enjoy NFL Week 9. Got some good matchups, so we'll recap some of those good matchups next week for you guys. Like I always say, bet smart and know your limits. Take advantage of that Bet99 code.